The C246D from TP-Link is one of the most versatile security cameras with dual lenses, an amazing clarity and wide field of view. Full review coming up. Stay tuned, subscribe and watch the whole video. Thank you. Welcome back to rTech. This is what we've been all waiting for. This is the dual lens Tapo camera from TP-Link, and I finally have it with me. So this is finally here and I'm so excited to have this unboxed and tested out. So here you go. Okay, so this is the C246D from TP-Link, and this is one of their first cameras to have a dual lens, dual view pan and tilt security camera. So this has got all the other features which they always have: smart detection, tracking, along with that beautiful app of theirs. It's got 3x clarity lens apparently, and I think it's 3 times clarity rather than 3x. It's got 2 views at once, and it's IP65 rated as well, which is pretty decent for something like this. Let me just take off this cover because there's a little bit of shine. So this is the first time I'm opening it. It's unscripted video, so let's see what we have here for the first time. So yeah, it's nicely wrapped in this plastic wrapper. So I'm taking it off. So there you go. This is the camera box. Let's have a closer look. So it says indoor pan and tilt security camera, dual lens. 2 views at once. I've already said that, and this is how it looks. I think one of this is fixed and this one actually rotates. On the side it says C246D, and it's got a field view of 125 degrees. Resolution is 2K, 3 megapixels. A manual adjustment for one of the lenses, of course. So it can tilt 10 degrees plus or minus. And then there's a PT lens. Field of view is just 67 degrees. So one of the lenses has got a little smaller field of view, 67 degrees, and resolution is 2K, but it's 3 megapixel, and that's got a tilt angle of 340 degrees, and it's got a tilt degree of 105. So I don't know how these things work, but there are some angles mentioned here. So audio 2-way built-in, of course. It's got call-in options, microphone and speaker built-in. Night vision, 850 nanometer infrared LED, so that's also there in case you want night vision. Obviously supports wireless protocols, PGN, 2.4 gigahertz, no 5 gigahertz as of now. And AC adapter, of course, 0.3 amps, 100 to 140 volts. So output is about 5 volts, 2 amps, the same old thing, and it's weatherproofed as well. So at the back you have some things mentioned about the clarity, super clarity. It's got wide angle lenses, and then there's a telephoto lens which gives you a little bit of zooming capabilities. Color night vision with spotlights, so it's got high definition night vision. Smart AI detection is free with TP-Link so far. So 2 lenses at once, that's going to be interesting to check on the app. And it's got smart tracking, of course, and one-touch focus. Local and cloud storage, of course, and customized activity zones, which means you can track on a particular zone after circling it. So here at the back, it's talking about some of the features. It's got free smart AI detection. The package contents over here also talked about the color night vision, just to repeat it again. Micro SD cards up to 256 GB, 512 GB this time supported. So 2K plus 2K, both the cameras are 2K resolution, and it's IP65 water and dust resistant. So yeah, let's check it out. Works with Alexa and Google, and also works with smart things with Samsung now. That's newly added here. So I think it works with everything else now. And of course at the bottom there's some mention about the billing and stuff like that. So 2-year warranty. So that's another thing which you can note here. So let's open this box. Let's see which side it opens. Okay, I'm going to get this out. Okay, the packaging is pretty small inside. If you look at it, that's all it is. I think I did a doorbell video. The last video I did was a doorbell, and that box was pretty much about the same size. So I'm wondering how big this is going to be. Quick start guide inside if you want one. Some templates for mounting, ceiling mount as well as wall mount in case you're interested. Some of the license notice, etc. And I guess this is the wall mounting or the ceiling mount option. Doesn't come off easily. But yeah, pretty solid stuff. So you have this nice mold here, and it's got some sort of a lock mechanism. We'll check that in a second. So yeah, that's there. Oh, this is nice. So there is this is a nice little small adapter they've given. This is the smallest I've actually seen. So it says travel charger. So it's there's also a pretty long cable. I'm guessing this is at least 2 meters. This is looks like about 2.5 meters, so pretty lengthy cable. If you think that you won't get this to reach some of your surfaces, it should work. Mounting screws, of course, that's about it. And over this side, so that's the cute little C246D. So yeah, so you can see what they're talking about. So there's a tilt this way as well as the rotation, which of course I don't want to force this thing to rotate, but it can rotate both ways. I think this is the manual tilt, so which means you fix this once and then it's going to remain that way, and then it's just going to rotate. So it says dual lens over here. So micro SD card option. Yeah. Now this, according to me, is very sort of not secure because there's no screw option here. So if someone's got access to this camera, they can just jump in and just pull out that card and just, destroy evidence or probably steal your micro SD card. So I think they could have just put a nice little screw adapter over here so that it makes a little more difficult for you to take it out. Of course, I can see some mounting options over here. There's a USB-C input over there. Some rubberized feet. So you can actually keep it on the desk as well. So it works fine. So you can see that. Let me take off this cover right in front of you. Okay, there's one for this one. Okay, that one was pretty hard. So that's the look it's got. There you can see infrared and normal spotlights there on both sides. So the lens is over here. This one looks like it's got some sort of a telephoto lens. This looks like a normal wide angle lens. So we'll have to test that out. So yeah, this looks pretty cool. Let's power it up and see what happens. Okay, before that, I just have to show you the mounting options. Now this is something I'm going to test for the first time. So this can go, up the ceiling this way, or it can go on the wall this way. Actually, it's supposed to be this way. So this is going to be facing downwards all the time. So I can see that it's got a locking mechanism over here. I'm going to just try fixing this. Okay, a couple of interesting things to note over here. So this mount is different from the rest of the TP-Link camera series because you'll notice that this actually has a locking mechanism which just, is pretty easy to get it through. So you just have to put it here and then, pull it at the back, and this actually locks in place. That's about it. It's as easy as that. Now, guess what? This doesn't have any sort of, locking mechanism. You don't have a screw. You don't have, and all those options are actually absent in this, which means now this is going to be vulnerable because if someone tends to probably reach this camera and just gives it a good push, that's going to come off. So there's no screw option over here, right? You can mount this on your wall or your ceiling and it's going to be secure, but this has no way to be fully secure with this particular mounting option. So it's just a matter of just locking it this way and you're done. Of course, this is easily, it's got a nice tilt option over here. You can mount it in any direction you want, plus this is going to rotate as well. But having said that, the security option for this camera is very minimal. It just comes off if you just pull it off. So I'm a little worried about that for sure, because if this is in reach, it's really going to cause issues in terms of, having this camera secure. So that option is actually missing, according to me. So I think that's one of the downfall of this particular camera. They could have just given a nice, screw mount or something over here so that once you fix this on the ceiling and, you just put in the screw over here before you fix it, they wouldn't be able to take out this camera unless you take the whole mount off. But now it's a matter of just pushing it or pulling it and it's going to come off. So I really didn't think that was a very good idea from TP-Link because, who would want to have a camera which is so easy to remove, right? But having said that, this is feature packed. It looks really nice. So let's, also want to just shout out to this particular adapter. It's really tiny. I just want to show you something which is probably a regular size charger, which you get with phones these days. And this is the size of this little charger over here. So it's really small. It's just kind of tiny, and this is about 2 amps. I think that's how far technology has gone. And the cable is over there. So really nice and really, really small, compact adapter this time. Okay, let's go ahead and power this up. I got a USB cable over here, which is coming from another adapter. So let's see if this works. Any cable should work, if you ask me. Yeah, that's the power light over there. Comes on. Okay, so it looks like it's actually in boot mode. Usually these things take a long time to kind of get set, but I think this one's pretty fast. Maybe upgrade the chips. Wi-Fi connected. So light's actually gone stable now. That orange light, it's actually become orange from red and green. I'm thinking it's going to turn green once it's fully set up. So it still says connecting to network though. There you go. It's turned green. So the solution probably, in the meantime, when it's actually adding this camera, is probably to add a little bit of glue and stick it off once and for all. If you think you're confident that it's not going to be removed again, put some quick fix or super glue, and then just run it once and for all, and then this is going to be permanently fixed to this camera. So pairing the Tapo device, that's what it says. I think it's done. Next, parking, yes. Some symbol, I'm going to just say house. Sounds good. So free trial, I'm not interested in that, so let's see, let me think. Dismiss, got it, okay. So it says firmware update. There's always a firmware update, and this has got dual tracking. It's actually giving you instructions of how to set this up and how it's going to work, how to focus this Wi-Fi signal. I'm just going to say next because it's got good Wi-Fi over here. So you can decide whether you want table mount or you want wall mount or ceiling mount. So it's also got a pole mount option. Yeah, but how do you secure this camera? I mean, someone's going to just jump in and pull that off. So let's go for table mount at the moment. I'm sure you can set this settings or change the settings whenever you want. So if I put check preview, I was going to show you my dirty little studio. Let's see whether it works. There you go. So I got all the covers over here. So it looks like, this is the primary camera. It gives you a wider angle of view. And this one looks like it's the fixed camera. So, I mean, I think the problem here is I'm getting audio from this one as well. Okay, I'm opening the app again. So dual tracking, tap to focus and stuff like that. Okay, great. Smart AI detection. Got it. There you go. Dual view. Okay. So yeah, most of the settings are pretty much same as any of the other cameras over here. So you have smart dual tracking, which is turned off over here. If you turn that on, you're going to keep getting notifications, and you can add an SD card. I've got an SD card, so I'm going to add that in. So you can switch off status LED, and of course you can put privacy mode where it stops recording. So some more advanced settings. So usually you can actually ask it to display your network speed and stuff like that. Here it also allows you to add a static ID in case you have this from your service provider. Hardware acceleration, I just leave it on. Voice call mode standard. So UPnP is one of those router settings which lets it connect faster. I just leave it all on standard. Okay, so let's just go back and see what else. So you have spotlight brightness. So status LED and advanced settings, smart actions. I think everything is pretty much the same. There is a firmware update which has come up. So yeah, you can update this if you wanted to. And then yeah, that's about it. So let's go to video and display. Right? So you can invert the image. Now let's say you have a different way of mounting it. You can actually invert the image and make it work the other way around. So detection tags basically going to see if anybody's walking. It'll actually put a box around it, and let's say you want it to be followed. You can do that as well in some of the other TP-Link cameras. I think this has also got that option. So it'll actually try and find things. On-screen display, you can make it display the logo or the text or the timestamp. So night mode can work in 2 or 3 different ways. So there's full color mode, which means it'll not use the IR LEDs. It's got some IR LEDs. There's full color mode, which means it will switch off IR and it'll start using that sensor capability to make it work in full color mode in full darkness. Smart mode basically means it'll think about what to use when, and you have the settings for both. That's what I noticed. I mean, it lets you adjust this for both. Anyway, so it's got, the PT lens has also got the same option as smart. So I'm going to leave it on smart for both the cases. But having said that, you'll have voice echoes now. Those are the lights. So you can see how bright those spotlights are. So it's there on both of them. This has got 1 and this has got 2 of them. How awesome is that? Yeah. So it's just cool. Pretty bright lights. So this is the infrared lights on both of these cameras. So you can see that they have 1 spotlight and 1 infrared on the tilting camera, whereas the fixed one has 2. So this is how the infrared light looks. So it looks like, both these lenses are quite different, and you can see that even in the image over here, which is actually coming on this. I will probably try and record this as well, so show you how the footage looks. But one of the lenses here, I think it's got a slightly telescopic field of view. So it's 3x. I mean, I think they were right about the 3x, right? So this one's actually got a 3x zoom, and this one's actually a wide angle. The other thing I noticed about this was just look at this finish, right? This whole thing actually shakes. I don't know whether it's intentional, but I don't know. I mean, it doesn't even stay if I press it downwards, but you can give it a small tilt. I mean, why would you do that? Well, upon careful observation, I noticed that this could be intentional, right? So this thing actually moves. So it's probably to give you that little bit of tilt angle. Maybe you want to just see the floor a little more than, just seeing the ceiling probably. So yeah, a little bit of tilt angle over here as well. So it does stay that way. So yeah, you can notice that. So that's probably why they've given this option here. But I also feel that, that's a segue for all the insects actually to enter inside in case you keep this outside. So that's going to be a problem. But otherwise, I think this is fine. But this one actually looks solid. The one which tilts, pans and tilts. This one's actually pretty strong. I mean, it looks fine. It looks well sealed up. But, I'm worried about this one. But having said that, feature-packed lenses both have infrared as well as normal spotlights, which is awesome. And a little bit of zoom over there. So that's actually nice, right? I mean, it gives you a better field of view sometimes. So you can see how much is actually zooming in as I speak over here. So I'll show you the footage on the side. So yeah, and my only concern again is there's no fixing screws for this. So yeah, it's only got mounting screw. It doesn't have anything to secure this with the mount. So if you just pull it off, it's going to come off. So you've got to be a little careful about that. Other than that, I think this camera is good. So let's get it fixed and see how good the footage comes. So fixing this camera is pretty simple. You just use the wall mount or the ceiling mount. It's just one device which you just need to drill 2 holes. Yes, just 2 holes to hold this camera up, and it can go on the ceiling or on the wall based on your preference. So I've mounted it on the ceiling, as you can see. I've used a slight angle because it's that's what I need. I needed to actually face the gate as well as the stairway to my home. So that's the reason I kept it in this particular angle. And you can see this motion tracking works amazing. So if you have this enabled, it'll follow a subject to ensure that you're getting a good view of wherever it's moving and however it's moving. So this PT camera lens will actually follow the subject. Here's the difference to show you how good the PT lens is as compared to the fixed lens. So you can see that there's a 3x zoom sort of a lens, which is by default on the PT lens. Whereas the normal wide angle will give you a bigger, wider angle, but you don't get the zoomed in view. Clarity wise, it looks pretty similar to the 530. I think the 530's got a little more colors to it. But here's the night shot. So obviously the street lights are on, and this is not using any kind of infrared or anything at all. And here's some vehicle tracking, and I can also show you how that PD lens is actually trying to follow the subjects. It's not always successful if it's too fast, but yeah, if it's a car or if someone's walking or probably running at slower speeds, it will easily follow that subject. and this works well in the night as well. So this is using, well, you have the smart mode, which means it will automatically decide to use infrared, or it will decide to use the spotlight. And if you use infrared, this is how it's going to look. And there you can see on the left side, that's because of the particular angle on that wide angle lens. It's actually going to show you the ceiling. So I found a fix by, putting a small wedge and then making it face the ground. So the final verdict is, this is a great camera with dual lenses, and that app makes it so much more easier to use this dual lens setup. I think it's a great camera if you're looking for a dual lens security camera, and TP-Link just makes it better and better. That's my complete review of the C246D. Hope you liked the video. Please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. I'll see you in the next one. Links in the description. Bye.